Give us some other good stuff.
You said you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the beginning when I talked about like we often get calls from people who are like, oh, there are two days left, my house is going to be sold at the foreclosure auction, what do I do? But a lot of the times these people don't find us. A lot of the times they find people who are actually like trying to scam them. And then oftentimes, those people who are not authorized to prepare a bankruptcy, they'll take money from those people and prepare something for them. Or they'll take money from those people, those people don't even know that they filed for bankruptcy. They don't know what they're doing. Those people are just directing them, telling them what to do. And they'll file for bankruptcy without even like realizing what they did. And oftentimes it's like involved with real estate, they'll like convince those people to like either do a short sale or transfer the deed of the house to them. So there's a lot of bankruptcy scams that are going around New York City at least. Usually judges like to keep like an eye on that, and I've seen a bunch of times them directing like U.S. attorneys to investigate those bankruptcy petition preparers. Because technically you can be a petition preparer and help someone prepare a bankruptcy petition and not be an attorney, but you have to disclose it on the application. Almost never they disclose it, and oftentimes I'll talk to people who filed for bankruptcy twice already, and they'll tell me, oh, I didn't know I filed for bankruptcy. I thought I was just doing something to stop the sale of my house or something like that. I'm like, no, you went to court and whoever you were working with, and sometimes those people are like, they don't have much money, they're just trying to save their house, and it's like their last savings that they give to those people. And
are these scammers, do they appear in court, or is both people?
They'll never go to court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're scared. The judges will like murder them.
Damn. So I guess the person that they're doing the paperwork for, how did that person not know they're in bankruptcy court? Or they never even show up to court. They file paperwork.
Yeah, usually they'll file the paperwork with the court and they'll never return to court because sometimes they're scared. Sometimes obviously especially like if English is not your first language, I see a lot of like Hispanic community where they do things like that, like with a scam, or like you don't want to go to court, like you don't know what you're doing basically. You just want to keep your house, and somebody told you the only way to keep your house is if you file for bankruptcy, or they might not even say that. The only way to keep your house, you fill out this, I'll fill it out for you. You just have to go to that place out there and give the documents to somebody.
And I guess I hear what you guys are saying. That it seems like there's a deep connection between foreclosures, losing your house, and bankruptcy. Yeah. Where do these scams usually execute at? Like are these people are looking for help and they run into the scammers instead of the help? Like why? Like where is this happening? If that makes sense.
So I think a lot of this is happening, basically in a lot of neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
So New York actually passed a law in 2009 stating only attorneys can charge money to help people do home loan modification applications. But there are plenty of storefronts. People hold themselves out as maybe not attorneys, but people who have worked in law firms for a long time, specialists. And, they tell people, oh, I'm going to, do a modification application for you. I'm going to file a bankruptcy for you. They claim that they're going to do all this stuff. And the hardest thing is the fact that, you have attorneys in communities, but you have, I feel like a lot more of these, storefronts, or, down the corner, down the street, little old lady wanders in, their nephew or niece say this person's good, but they have no idea what they're talking about. And then also people get some information that's very inconsistent with the law. Like people have come in before and said, oh, well, if I just file this bankruptcy, that's going to discharge my mortgage, right? Mm-hmm. That's all I need to do is file it and discharge my mortgage. And we say, absolutely not. That's not the way it works. You just don't file and say, oh, mortgage is gone, car note is gone. There's steps, and, definitely recommend anyone who's, filing a bankruptcy, especially Chapter 13 and Chapter 11, you need to speak with an attorney because they are way too complex to try on your own. Some people, do some basic Chapter 7 stuff on their own, but again, those are also easy ways to shoot yourselves in the foot because, again, as Sam Bankman-Fried found out, once you file a bankruptcy, you can unfile it.
Yep. But another thing they do is, because foreclosure is public record, they can check when all the auctions are, when all the houses are going to be auctioned off, and they literally go door to door. They'll check, oh, those 10 addresses are going to be auctioned off on Thursday? Okay. We'll send someone, just knock on their door and like, oh, your house is going to be auctioned off in a week. I can help you. And, they do things like that.
And then another thing with the automatic stay. Sometimes these people, they will try to do things, they'll kind of screw the situation up, and then they'll say, oh, we'll just file a bankruptcy to stop the sale of the home. But that only works up to a certain point. So the first time you file a bankruptcy within a year, you get an automatic stay on everything. Mm-hmm. The second time you file it, you get a stay for 30 days. But generally, you'll get a stay indefinitely in the home. But what the bank will start doing, and the banks have gotten, over the last 5 years or so, banks have gotten a lot savvier with this. They'll go file a motion and say, we want in rem relief. And all in rem relief means that it's like we want relief over the thing, like the rem. It's Latin. But basically, they say, okay, they filed this bankruptcy against the second time they filed it in a year. Basically, we want to be able to proceed with the foreclosure because this bankruptcy is not a good faith bankruptcy. And then the third time you file it within a year, you get no automatic stay at all. But banks tend to be a lot savvier with this.
So I guess what's a little confusing to me is, any of those times, why are you refiling as compared to just proceeding with the bankruptcy?
Well, they don't have an attorney who represents them. Most of the time, those people, they can't find actual help, someone who can help them. And they don't know what they're supposed to do in bankruptcy. They don't know like how to proceed, how to fill out everything properly, because it's a complicated process. And if they don't have an attorney helping you, instead they have this scammer who's going to be, yeah, I got everything taken care of. They don't know that it's not being taken care of. And most of the time, like whatever they file is completely deficient. And they don't know, for example, we talked about you have to go meet with a trustee, which is called a 341 hearing. They'll never show up because they don't know they're supposed to go to the hearing. And if you don't show up, the bankruptcy obviously can't happen.
Also,
we see that all the time.
Yeah, no, and most people, when they file themselves, they don't file a full bankruptcy petition. So the law allows you to file what's called a skeleton petition. So let's say your home's getting sold tomorrow, you can file a skeleton petition. Basically, you put your basic information and all your creditors, which can be amended later. Mm-hmm. You file it with the court. Thereafter, you have 14 days by rule to file everything else, right? And as attorneys, I mean, at least I'm speaking for myself, I kind of hate when people file a skeleton and then they come and say, hey, can you file everything else? Because it really puts us, under the gun. But a lot of people will file a skeleton, or, like potential fraudsters will file a skeleton, won't do anything else, let it get dismissed. And then when they can't do anything else, 4 months later, say, oh, we'll just file another one. But they don't actually complete the process. Mm-hmm. And any bankruptcy trustee will tell you, you should not be filing these skeletons in bad faith just to stop a sale, right? If you do it if you need to, but you should be filing with the full intent to do a bankruptcy, to complete the process, or at least get far enough in the process to resolve your issue.
So basically, if I understand this correctly, these guys basically say, hey, you're about to lose your house tomorrow. I can stop it for this fee. Mm-hmm. They successfully stop it, and then whatever the payment plan is, maybe it's like, all right, I'll give you $100 to start it, and I'll give you the $400 for me to really know that my foreclosure was paused. They get that, they get the $500, and then they're like, good luck, and they bounce.
Oftentimes, they also just try to get the house, like not just the fee. They also try to scam you out of the ownership of the house most of the time. And then they'll try to do like a short sale or whatever, however they want to do.
And how does that work?
Oh, short sale? So basically, a short sale is when...
they say everything is a short sale.
Well, yeah, but the short sale is when the amount you owe on the home is worth... it's more than the value of the home. So let's say you owe $600,000 on the home that's worth $400,000. And then what these people come in and try to say is, oh, well... bank, you can't sell this home for $600,000. Market's bad. The place is messed up inside. But I tell you what, you give it to me for I don't know, $300 or $250. At least you're getting some of the money back for your investors, and I can go off and fix it up and make a nice profit for myself. And everyone wants to get a short sale because no one wants to pay market value for these homes. So everyone keeps saying short sale, short sale, short sale. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, and a lot of banks attorneys have come up to me and they're like, they'll say, why do people want to do all these short sales? Why don't they just like do a deed in lieu of foreclosure, as in basically just give the home back to the bank, and the bank says, okay, we'll take it and we'll sell it. Have a great day. And instead of doing these short sales, and I kind of had to break it down to them. But also,
and the reason is that they're being scammed.
I mean, sometimes,
not every short sale is a scam.
Not every short sale is a scam.
But a lot of the times when, like, you can do a proper short sale if you owe way more in the house than, it's worth. But a lot of the times these people try to sell, like, or scam you for way, way less. And a lot of the times they don't actually do a short sale. A lot of the times they induce you into signing some fraudulent documents where you sign off the deed to them and not even... And then there are a whole lot of other problems with that.
And then also another a big thing we see too, right? Is like the people who actually have equity in their home. Homes worth $800,000, they owe $500,000. These people come and say, "Oh, let's do a short sale. Let's do a short sale," and they come to me and say, "Oh, I want to do a short sale," and I say, "You have equity in your home. If you want to sell the home, just go sell it on the market." But see, what a lot of these people, these short sales do, or at least they used to do. They'll say, all right, we'll sell it for this amount, over the table, but, under the table, I'll give you $40,000 because they're getting it for an artificially low price.
That's
and,
how it works.
A lot of these people, the face like a lot of people, working class people who are scammed, they never had that much money in their bank accounts. And they just know they have a house that suddenly was, just worth all this money that they paid like $50,000 for. And, so people are confused.
Sounds like you should hire an attorney. This is scary out there.
Yes.